second. You know, night after night, I'll be fucking you right 7 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 days a week. Every hour, every minute, every second. You know, night after night, I'll be fucking you right 7 days a week.
Only the best.
I've been hearing symphonies. Before all I heard was silence. A rhapsody for you and me. And every melody is timeless. Life was stringing me along. Then you came and you cut me loose. Was solo singing on my own. Now I can't find the key without you. And now your song is on repeat. And I'm dancing on to your heartbeat. And when you're gone, I feel incomplete. So if you want the truth, I just wanna be part of your symphony. We hold me tight and not let go. Symphony, like a love song on the radio. We hold me tight and not let go. I'm sorry if it's all too much, but every day you're here, I'm healing. And I was running out of luck. I never thought I'd find this feeling. 'Cause I've been hearing symphonies. Before all I heard was silence. A rhapsody for you and me. And every melody is timeless. And now your song is on repeat. And I'm dancing on to your heartbeat. And when you're gone, I feel incomplete. So if you want the truth, I just wanna be part of your symphony. We hold me tight and not let go. Symphony, like a love song on the radio. We hold me tight and not let go. And now your song is on repeat. And I'm dancing on to your heartbeat. And when you're gone, I feel incomplete. So if you want the truth, I just wanna be part of your symphony. We hold me tight and not let go. Symphony, like a love song on the radio. Symphony, we hold me tight and not let go. Symphony, like a love song on the radio. We hold me tight and not let go.
Only the best.
I'm so tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home, wanna go home, wanna go home. Oh, so tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home, wanna go home, wanna go home. Oh, party, trying my best to meet somebody, but everybody around me's falling in love to our song. Yeah, hate it. Taking a shot 'cause I can't take it. But I don't think that they make anything that strong. So I hold on. Yeah. I'm so tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home, wanna go home, wanna go home. Oh, so tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home, wanna go home, wanna go home. Oh, strangers, killing my lonely nights with strangers. And when they leave, I go back to I saw done. Hurts like heaven, lost in the sound. Buzzcut season, like you're still around. Can't unmiss you, and I need you now. Yeah, yeah. I'm so tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home, wanna go home, wanna go home. Oh, so tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home, wanna go home, wanna go home. Oh, I'm so tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home, wanna go home, wanna go home. Oh, so tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home, wanna go home, wanna go home. Oh,
only the best.
Love me, say that you love me. Fool me, go on and fool me.
I fear we're facing a problem. You love me no longer, I know, and maybe there is nothing that I can do to make you do. Mama tells me I shouldn't bother, that I'll just stick to another man, a man that surely deserves me, but I think you do. So I cry and I pray and I beg for you to love me, say that you love me. Fool me, go on and fool me. Love me, pretend that you love me. Leave me, just say that you need me. Love me, fool me. Love me, fool me. Lately I have desperately pondered, spend my nights awake and I wonder what I could have done in another way to make you stay. Reason will not reach a solution, I will end up lost in confusion. I don't care if you really care, as long as you don't go. So I cry and I pray and I beg for you to love me, say that you love me. Fool me, go on and fool me. Love me, pretend that you love me. Leave me, just say that you need me. Love me, fool me. Love me, fool me. Oh, I cry and I pray and I beg for you to love me. I cry and I pray and I beg for you to love me. Love me, fool me. Love me, say that you love me. Love me, for you to love me. Fool me, for you to love me. Love me, for you to love me. Love me, say that you love me.
Only the best.
You know you can call me if you need someone. I'll pick up the pieces if you come undone. I need you to hold on. Heaven is a place not too far away. We all know I should be the one to say we all make mistakes. Take my hand and hold on. Tell me everything that you need to say. 'Cause I know how it feels to be someone. Feels to be someone who loses their way. Looking for answers in a place unknown. You need the connection, but you can't get close. Painting stars up on your ceiling 'cause you wish that you could find some feeling. Yeah, you know you could call me if you need someone. I need you to hold on. Heaven is a place not too far away. We all know I should be the one to say we all make mistakes. Take my hand and hold on. Tell me everything that you need to say. 'Cause I know how it feels to be someone. Feels to be someone who loses their way. Midnight till morning, call if you need somebody. I will be there for you. I will be there for you. Midnight till morning, call if you need somebody. I will be there for you. I need you to hold on. Heaven is a place not too far away. We all know I should be the one to say we all make mistakes. Take my hand and hold on. Tell me everything that you need to say. 'Cause I know how it feels to be someone. Oh yeah, feels to be someone who loses their way. Till morning, call if you need somebody. I will be there for you.
Good morning.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Friday.
Midnight till morning, call if you
Right?
need somebody.
Today Friday?
I will be there for
Yes.
you.
Only the best.
Only the best. Happy Friday. Welcome to the weekend. How's everybody doing? We okay? Bama fans, we starting to sort of get over it a little? Certainly hope so. Where's the Ohio State man? Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien. How does Brian Hartline feel about that? That's my question. How does Brian Hartline feel about the Bill O'Brien hire? What else? Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh Sanders have their own set of rules. The regular team rules don't apply to them. You know, they're like the new Kardashians, the Sanders, and that's fucking sad. That's basically what they are. That's where this is headed. A reality show. That's where this is headed, and they'll just be on. They'll be on TV for the next 15 years on A&E or whatever the fuck channel. It's Discovery Channel, whatever it is. Keeping Up with the Sanders. That's all. It's it. That's where this is headed. These dummies are prancing around a runway like a couple of women out in Paris. Instead of going to the team meeting. But my question is, of all the Sanders, which one is Bruce Jenner? It's most likely one of these two. Which one of these is Bruce Jenner? I don't know who that. Not him. I don't know who the hell that is. Is that Bruce Jenner right there? Or is that Bruce Jenner right there? Which one of these two is Bruce Jenner? What are we doing? This is instead of a team meeting. The first team meeting of the year, or go do this. What are we doing? Look at it. Look, he's wearing a picnic tablecloth for a jacket. I'm serious. What are we doing? I don't know. I don't know. That being said, I am looking forward to going into the Louis Vuitton store and the Gucci store and all that out in Vegas. I wouldn't even skip the morning show to go to a fashion show, though. Be honest with you. I wouldn't even skip I wouldn't. Listen, I'm trying to think, is there anything I do that's less relevant than the morning show? Probably not. I mean, everything I do is irrelevant to varying degrees, but I think this is the most irrelevant thing I do. I wouldn't even skip the morning show to go to a fashion show. I wouldn't even skip the morning show to go to the Victoria's Secret's fashion show. The Victoria's Secret's fashion show on TV once a year was cool when I was 8, and there was no such thing as the internet. To try to get me to go to one of those things now, I'd just as soon hang myself. I don't know what's happening anymore. The Bama fans are at it again with Caden Proctor. Caden Proctor's no good. It's all over my Twitter, everywhere else. Caden Proctor's no good. Well, are you sure? I know there's some Bama fans in here. What is all this Caden Proctor slander? Now, I've only had two. I had two people tell me Caleb Downs is no good. Two Bama fans. Caleb Downs is terrible. He got beat for a touchdown in the Texas game. Oh, so his second game ever? Okay. But most Bama fans, as dumb as they are, still recognize that Caleb Downs is an elite talent. But what's with the Caden Proctor slander? I'm trying to understand that. Again, they point to the Texas game. Okay, he was a true freshman. That was his second game. I'm not saying the guy is perfect. Did he give up some sacks? Yes. Was he also the best freshman tackle in the country? Yes. Is he a first-round NFL draft pick? Yes. What are you talking about? Caden Proctor's no good. And here's the other thing. To the Bama fans saying good riddance to Caden Proctor, he gave up a sack or two. Okay, let's assume you're right and Caden Proctor is terrible. Imagine how bad his backup must be, who is now your starter. Hello? Hello? Are there any Bama fans alive today? Of every player that's entered the portal this year. Every single one. Whether they've landed on another team yet or not. Every single player. Out of all the players, what is there, 2,500 players that have entered the portal this year? Whatever the number is. Out of all the players that entered the portal, who's the highest ranked? Who can tell me? Who's the highest ranked player to enter the portal this entire year? Anyone know? I know. That's right, Sir UJ. Caleb Downs. Now, like I said, most Bama fans admit he's an elite talent, okay? And that was kind of an easy question. I think everyone knows Caleb Downs is the highest rated player to enter the portal this year. Who's the second highest? Who's the second highest player to enter the portal this entire transfer season? Who is it? Does anyone know? Bueller? Bama man? Wake the fuck up. Sir UJ says Caden Proctor. That can't be right because the Bama fans say he fucking sucks. Oh, no. I'm sorry. That is right. Sir UJ, you were right. Caden Proctor. Second highest rated transfer to enter the portal. Rated higher than Walter Nolan, higher than Isaiah Bond, higher than Evan Stewart, higher than Aiden Charles, Quinshawn Judkins, Dante Moore, Caden Green, Nyland Green, A.J. Harris, Chase Basantis, Cameron Ward, Nick Scotton, London Humphreys. Yeah. Fucking terrible, this guy. Fucking garbage here. I don't think a day can go by without the Bama fans proving how fucking retarded they are. What do you think it's based on, dummy? Don't tell me high school ratings. Transfer portal rankings are not a reflection of high school rankings. Transfer portal rankings are their own rankings. So, shut the fuck up with that. Caden Proctor is the second highest rated player to enter the portal this transfer season. So quit with the dumb shit. Please. K-Starg, is this you? I think this is K-Starg in this video.
I'm proud to be a Bama fan, where at least I know I've seen 6 national championships by those Nick Saban built teams. I'll stand up next to you, still yelling Roll Tide. There's not a man that could fill his shoes. Nick Saban till I die. Roll Tide, baby! I'm proud to be a Bama fan, where at least...
Y'all have a fucking mental problem. The fuck are y'all doing? God almighty. That's fucking embarrassing. K-Stark, this is your people.
At least I know I've seen 6 National championships by those Nick Saban built teams. I'll stand up next to you, still yelling roll tide. There's not a man that could fill his shoes. Nick Saban till I die. Roll Tide, baby! I'm proud to be a Bama fan.
Fucking Christ. That's fucking sad. And he sang it to the tune of God Bless the USA. That makes Lee Greenwood want to take a knee during the national anthem. That's how bad, that's how disrespectful that is. That makes Lee Greenwood, the guy who actually sang God Bless the USA, that makes him want to take a knee at an NFL game during the national anthem. That's how fucking embarrassing that is. Kalen DeBoer has a 0% chance of being successful. None. Because of dumbasses like that. There's nothing Kalen DeBoer can do that will result in him being the coach at Alabama in 4 or 5 years. Nothing. Nothing. So I hope he's renting in Tuscaloosa. That's embarrassing. And it's not Kalen DeBoer's fault. Kalen DeBoer is a good coach. He's a great Saturday coach. He's a great Saturday coach. Don't know about the recruiting and other things. He may turn out to be the opposite of Mario Cristobal. I don't know. Mario Cristobal can recruit with the best of them, but can't coach a lick on Saturday. DeBoer may be the opposite. I don't know. I think he's a good coach. Is he a great coach? I don't know. He's definitely a good coach. And he's a great coach on Saturdays. Is he a great coach overall? I don't know. Got to see the recruiting. But he's got no chance in Tuscaloosa. None. Zero. Because of dumbasses like that. They're not going to let it go. Nick Saban's hanging around like an extra fucking shadow. Terrible fucking idea. Oh, Nick Saban's hanging around to help keep the team together, keep the recruiting class together. Well, the team's falling apart, and your recruiting class has dropped 20 spots in the last 3 days. Maybe Nick Saban ought to take his retired ass down to Florida. Maybe that'd help. Take that dumbass singing that song with him. Fucking joke. What a fucking joke. I might be headed down to Florida. I'm gonna move right next door to Saban. I'm retiring after next week. This could be the last ever morning shoe. It's going to be hard to come back from Vegas with millions in my pocket and still get up and do this morning show every day. Bama man told me 2 days ago there was 4 players on Alabama's team last year with more catches than Isaiah Bond. These are the types of people we're dealing with. Four receivers had more catches than Isaiah Bond, this guy told me. He's only off by 4, by the way. He's only off by 4. I guess that's not bad for the Bama man. It's actually 0. It's actually 0 receivers with more catches than Isaiah Bond. But the Bama man never lets silly things like facts get in the way of him embarrassing himself. I wish Ellis Robinson would be good enough to play year 1, but that's hard to do as a corner in the SEC. I don't know, but Georgia needs help at the cornerback position, in my opinion, which, depending on you ask, means little or nothing. But I don't think Georgia has the corners. I'm not saying the corners are terrible, but Georgia, in my opinion, doesn't have the corners that they have had over the last 4 or 5 years. I don't think. I hope I get proven wrong, obviously. But I don't think we do. Unless it's somebody that hasn't played yet, like Ellis Robinson, or, you know, maybe a sophomore that didn't play much last year. But like the ones that we know have a shot at starting, not on the level of a Keely Ringo or a Kamari Lassiter or a DeAndre Baker or whatever other lockdown corner you want to fill in. Eric Stokes. I don't see any of those right now. I was told Saban wasn't leaving. He's going to hold this new coach's hand. It looks like he's holding the player's hand and walking them out the door. That's what it looks like he's doing. Bama did sign a quarterback out of the transfer portal yesterday. Y'all excited about that, Bama fans? Y'all excited about that quarterback he got out of the portal yesterday? I thought Bama fans were mad because they couldn't sign anybody out of the portal. That's all I've heard for 2 or 3 days. We're losing players and we can't get nobody. Do you think Impemba starts? Is he still an outside linebacker? If so, I hope so. Because right now, guess who's starting there? Chaz fucking Chambliss. Georgia fans can bitch and moan and say whatever they want about me talking about the defensive backs or the outside linebackers. That's fine. What did I complain about last offseason when it came to Georgia? I complained about 2 position groups all last offseason. I said these 2 position groups are not up to par. Thank you, Jonathan Miller. That's exactly right. Now, Go watch or listen to any analysis of Georgia's season, postseason. Listen to any postseason analysis of Georgia's season. Listen to anybody. And those are the first two position groups they talk about. Running back and defensive line. You know? These smooth-brained tards that thought Bear Alexander wasn't going to start. That just retarded. Retarded. Bear Alexander was the best defensive lineman we had, and he transferred. You know, you sound like Alabama fans. Anybody that transfers ain't no good all of a sudden. Bear Alexander would have started every single game last year for Georgia, every one. And there's a 0% chance he would have been worse than any of the other ones that nobody can name unless you're a Georgia fan. You can't name a single Georgia defensive lineman. That tells you all you need to know. Everybody in the country knew who Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter were. If you're not a Georgia fan, you can't name a single Georgia defensive lineman. Except Bear Alexander. Now, Bear Alexander made a terrible decision to go there. It was an awful decision. If anything, he may get worse in the 2 years he spends out there, or 3. He's not going to get any better. He would have improved every single day had he stayed at UJ. He made a terrible decision. Now, A.D. Mitchell, great decision. Jermaine Burton, great decision. But Bear Alexander, terrible. Terrible decision. Nobody looks good on Southern Cal's defense. Yet, Georgia brags about signing their defensive backs coach. Make it make sense. Here's one right here. Bear Alexander was not the best defensive lineman. Okay. Who was? Of course he was. Guy started multiple games at defensive tackle at UGA as a true freshman. You have any idea how hard that is to do? I'll give you a hint. It's about as hard as it is to start at safety as a true freshman at Alabama. That's about how hard it is. Of course, Bear Alexander was the best defensive lineman we had. He was the most highly recruited out of high school, and he'll be drafted higher than any defensive lineman on Georgia's team right now, period. You're just in complete denial. Yeah, I'll bet $100, but you got to name the players. Can you even name them? I don't even know if you can name Georgia's defensive linemen, but if you can name them, I'll bet the $100. Name them. Go. You got 60 seconds to type out the Georgia defensive linemen that you think are getting drafted higher than Bear Alexander. Go. 60 seconds. Go. I'm counting down. Name them. You got 45 seconds. Name the defensive tackle that's getting drafted higher than Bear Alexander. Go. You got 30 seconds. You can't name a single one. You think Warren Brinson is getting drafted higher than Bear Alexander? You think Nazir Stackhouse is getting drafted higher than Bear Alexander? Is this what you're telling me? You think Zion Logue is getting drafted higher than Bear Alexander? Sir, you're either ignorant, retarded, or the biggest blind homer on the face of the planet. Warren Brinson. Warren Brinson's like how long has Warren Brinson been there? 6 years? Y'all are retarded. I said name any of them. You can't name one. You can't name a single Georgia defensive lineman. You can't name a single Georgia defensive tackle that you think's getting drafted higher than Bear Alexander. So I guess you could take that $100 and stick it up your ass. You can't name a single one. What other defensive tackles played last year? Zion Logue, Warren Brinson, Nazir Stackhouse. Who else? Name them. You can't. I just gave you 3. Name one of those that you think is getting drafted higher. Name one. None of them are. Any defensive tackle that played last year. Any. Just name one. They're not getting drafted higher than Bear Alexander. No matter how much crying you do in the comments section. You're just a fucking retard that thinks Bear Alexander isn't any good because he transferred away. Same type of dumbass that talks shit about 80. Oh, I don't need 80 Mitchell. And then halfway through the season when all our receivers are hurt, you're like, oh, man, sure would be nice to have 80 Mitchell. You're the same person last year that during the offseason told me to shut up about the running backs. Okay. Well, you're just mentally retarded. Christian Miller. If you were an Alabama fan, you'd be all over the internet talking about how shitty Caden Proctor is. It's just, some people are just that way. Tyrion Ingram Dawkins will get drafted higher than Bear Alexander. Overall draft grade, 48 out of 100. Dang. Hate to see that. As a junior, he played in 7 games. Wow. Recorded only 2 tackles. Two tackles and 1 sack. Yeah. Yeah. Can't believe we didn't win the Natty. Jesus Christ. Guy had 2 tackles. I can't believe we didn't win the Natty. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's amazing. Yes, JC, that's right. Yep, the Cash App and the PayPal are in the description. Send it. Being allergic to money is a you problem. I've got no issue with taking it. Julian Sayin just decommitted? Oh, boy. The hits just keep on coming. Is that true? Let's look and see. How do you spell his last name? Oh, here we go. Alabama freshman. Wow. Wow. Oh, my God. Alabama freshman quarterback Julian Sayin, the top-ranked quarterback in the class of 24, intends to enter the transfer portal. Bama fans have been talking about him for 3 years. K-Star, come out of your hole. What's going on? Come on, K-Star. Come out of your hole, dummy. Bama fans were talking about Julian Sayin the same way Tennessee fans talk about Nico. That's how hyped up they were. Yeah, Bama's just in the toilet. Bama's circling the drain. Pitiful. Pitiful. K-Star jumped out of a window. He might go 9-3 this year, but after that, I don't know. Could be some 7 and 8 win seasons on deck. Could be worse than that. Wow, Julian Sayin. Yeah, they don't need Julian Sayin because they got that transfer from Washington. Kalen DeBoer just cost Bama Julian Sayin by bringing in that backup 4-star from Washington. Congratulations, Kalen DeBoer, making big-time moves there. Big-time moves. Yeah, they'll be all over the internet saying he's no good. Just like they're doing with Caden Proctor and Isaiah Bond. Boy. Talk about down bad. Damn, K-Star entered the portal. I'm not surprised. A lot of Bama fans are going to be entering the portal. Yeah, Caleb Downs to UGA today. Dang. It's really sad. It's got me all broke up. This may come as a shock to some of you, but nobody sent me $100 for that Bear Alexander bet. Shout out to the Bucknuts for getting Bill O'Brien as their OC. Can't wait to watch them throw the ball on first, third, and goal. I just want to know what this means for Brian Hartline. I don't care. Ryan Day is the offensive coordinator of Ohio State. People are making too much of this Bill O'Brien hire, and as far as laughing at Ohio State about it as it being a bad hire. That's a Ryan Day offense there. It doesn't matter who the OC is, in my opinion. But Brian Hartline has made it very clear that he's tired of being a wide receiver coach and going out and getting the best 4 wide receivers in high school every single year, year after year. He wants a promotion. So supposedly, he was promoted to play caller last year to make him happy. Now they basically are demoting Brian Hartline and bringing in Bill O'Brien. So I don't care about the Bill O'Brien part of it. What does this mean for Brian Hartline? Because he can come on down to Athens. I tell you that right now. I'll cut him an NIL check myself. I'll pay Brian Hartline an NIL check to come coach at Athens. He doesn't even have to coach, actually. Just recruit. That's all you got to do. He can have a closet job. We can stick him in a closet. He's just got to go recruit 2 wide receivers a year. That's all he's got to do. We ought to pay him $1 million to go sign 2 wide receivers a year. If Kirby's got any sense at all, he'd offer that. That's all you got to do. Sign me 2 wide receivers a year. I'll give you $1 million. That's what he should do. The bet is clear. Bear Alexander will be drafted higher than any of Georgia's defensive tackles from last season. That's the bet. I asked you to name the defensive tackles so that we would know who to track in the draft, but you don't have the ability to name any. So I gave you 3. You named a 4th, Christian Miller. So Christian Miller, Ingram Dawkins, Zion Logue, Warren Brinson, whoever the other one was. Houndstooth Pattern has entered the portal. Damn. Any defensive tackle that played last year for Georgia. I can't make the bet any simpler than that for you. Any defensive tackle that played last year for Georgia. Bear Alexander will be drafted higher than any of them. So you may have to wait 1 draft, 2 drafts, 3 drafts, whatever, how many drafts you have to wait. Is that you? Initials RS? I don't want to say your real name. Some people are funny about that. If that's you, RS, then okay, I got it. Remind me in 3 years not to send you any money because you lost the bet. All right, I got it. Dixieland Delight has entered the transfer portal. Auburn's pockets are deeper than Alabama. We're paying legally. Yeah, but you got no quarterback. Look, I was very complimentary of Hugh Freeze's football abilities when Auburn hired him. Now, he's a piece of shit human being, but I was very complimentary of his football abilities. But if he doesn't have a quarterback, nothing matters at Auburn. Nothing. So until you can tell me that he's got a competent quarterback, I'm not interested in hearing any fake Auburn hype. And that's, I mean, I'm not trolling. You're getting Julian Sayin. That's great for 2025 and 2026. I'm talking about right now, 2024. Who's your quarterbacks? Not Robbie Ashford. He transferred to South Carolina to play whatever. I don't even know. H-back. Does Michael Williams count? No, we're talking about defensive tackles. He's an edge guy. He's so good. But speaking of Michael Williams, though, what a disappointment he was last year. He was so good, he split snaps with Chaz Chambliss. But I do like Michael Williams does have a high ceiling. But he's not a defensive tackle. I'll throw nose guard tackle into the bet, too. Nose tackle, defensive tackle, but not edge rushers. Bama fans signing an NIL deal with NASCAR. Yeah. Didn't the barn get the Liberty QB? I don't even know who that is. Yeah, Nazir Stackhouse, Zion Logue, Warren Brinson, Ingram Dawkins, Christian Miller. Well, it depends as far as Chaz and Michael playing 2 different positions. They're both edge rushers. One's a defensive end, one's an outside linebacker. So it depends on the defensive formation, but they serve the same purpose, and they're rarely in the game at the same time. It's usually one or the other. UJ had the worst D-line in 3 years last year. They were mediocre. Yeah. I learned who Georgia has at defensive tackle now. Yeah, no one, unless you were a Georgia fan, you had no idea because none of them were any good. In the FSU, Michael played more. Jack. Michael always lines up on the outside. A lot of times standing up. Chaz Chambliss is like the first and second down version of Michael Williams. You know. Especially early on, Michael Williams was playing a lot of third downs. He showed a lot of potential his freshman year, but this past season was a huge disappointment to me for Michael Williams. Starks, Downs, and Bolden on the field at the same time. You know what? I heard some people yesterday saying that if we get Caleb Downs, they might move KJ Bolden to wide receiver his freshman year. I don't think that will happen, but and KJ Bolden might not want that to happen. I don't know how KJ Bolden feels about any of that. But I heard some chatter yesterday that if we get Caleb Downs, so you'd be looking at Caleb Downs and Malachi Starks as your two safeties. Now Georgia plays three safeties a lot of times. You know, that star position is technically like a safety linebacker hybrid position, but it's usually played by a safety. Like last year, there was a lot of times where you had Starks, Bullard, and Tyke Smith in the game at the same time. Yeah, I'm excited about Joel Aguero. He's got a lot of potential, too. He didn't get to play much last year, at least not meaningful time, but he should play a lot more this year. Ravens fans and supporters only. Oh, speaking of that, what's up with the Payloo for this weekend on the NFL games? I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I like the Ravens minus 9.5. Let me pull this up. I like the Ravens minus 9.5. This one I don't know about. I feel like Green Bay can keep it closer than the 9.5, but I'm wondering, did Green Bay shoot their wad last week, scoring 60 points against Dallas, and then they come out this week and score 17 or something? You know? But my instinct is to take Baltimore minus 9.5 and Green Bay plus 9.5. Am I wrong? I'm sure I'm wrong, but am I streaming tomorrow? I can't. I'm traveling tomorrow. The games are at 4:30 and 8:15. I'm leaving my house around 4 tomorrow, so I'll be in the car while the first game is on. And I'll be checking into a hotel when the second game comes on. So I probably won't be able to stream either of those games. What about the Sunday games? What do y'all think about these? Tampa Bay at Detroit. Detroit minus 6.5. Kansas City Chiefs at Buffalo. Buffalo minus 2.5. I like Buffalo and Tampa Bay. I like Buffalo minus 2.5, Tampa Bay plus 6.5. Am I wrong on all of that, or some of it, or what? Ravens by 14, 49ers by 17. So you think the Ravens and the 49ers will both cover tomorrow? Baker Mayfield has played well the last half of this season. That's true. And I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan, so I'm with Slim. I'm in the he proved me wrong category. I think there'll be an upset this weekend. There usually is in this round. Yeah, the Ravens minus 9.5 is probably the one I have the most confidence in. Baker Mayfield had one lucky game. You didn't watch the last 5 or 6 games of the season, I guess? You just watched the playoff game? I mean, that's fine. I didn't watch the last 5 or 6 games either, but apparently he's been playing really good for a month. I don't know. I don't know. Any basketball today? Yeah, a bunch. Yeah. Anyway. Rule number 1 of trash talkers: don't let your opponents know what pisses you off. Yeah, that's what's wrong with the Texas fans. Letting everybody know they're mad about the horns down. I'll admit, my thing with Baker Mayfield, my feelings about Baker Mayfield all along have had less to do with how talented I think he is. I think he is talented. I'm not going to lie. I wanted him to fail because I just don't like him. And so maybe that clouded my judgment. I don't know. But I did not want Baker Mayfield to do well. To me, he's just not a likable person. Like me. You have any idea how many people are mad that my YouTube channel is still successful? It just makes a lot of people mad because I'm not a likable person. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. He's not a likable person. Over under on 2 more natties. Oh man, I wish you'd said 1.5. If the over under was 1.5, I'd take the over. I think he can win 2 more. It's hard for me to. I don't know that I would take any coach right now to win more than 2 natties going forward right now, because I don't know how this 12-team playoff is really going to shake out. Look, it's going to be hard for any team, no matter how good you are, to win 3 or 4 games against top 10 teams to win a natty. Now, somebody's going to do it every year because somebody's going to win the natty every year. And to do that, you're going to have to win 3 or 4 playoff games. In some cases, look, there's going to be some teams that in order to win the natty, play 5 top 10 teams in a row. Let's say, take Georgia from this last year. Georgia goes 12-0, right? Okay. They make the SEC title game. That's a top 10 game. They lost it, which means in a 12-team playoff, they would not have gotten a first-round bye. They'd have had to play in the first round. So in the first round, they're playing we'll say top 12. So they play a top 10 team, a top 12 team in the first round of the playoffs. If they win that, they got to play a top 10 team in the next round of the playoffs, a top 10 team in the semifinals, and then a top 10 team in the finals. You would be playing 5 top 12 teams in a row. It's going to be hard to do that for anybody. So I don't know that I would take over 2 natties going forward for any coach in the country right now. But Kirby is as well positioned to do that, or better positioned to do that than almost anybody else. But I don't know if I would take over 2. At least not without seeing a couple of years of the playoffs and exactly how hard it's going to be. It's going to be hard. It's obviously harder to win a title if you have to play more games to win it. That's just obvious. You've got fatigue to worry about. You've got injuries to worry about. And you've got to worry about the fact that you're just playing 3, 4, or 5 really good teams in a row, and that's just hard to do. It's harder than playing 2 or 3 good teams in a row, you know? And even in the SEC, where now it's a lot of years, it's 3 hard games in a row to close out the season. If you include the SEC championship game, usually a top 10 matchup, and then the playoffs and the championship game. So that's like 3. But you have a month off between the SEC championship game and the first round of the playoffs. You're not going to have that anymore. If you're 12-0 and you lose your conference championship game, you get no weeks off. None. You come right out of the regular season where you played 12 games, immediately into your conference championship game. And if you lose that, you've got a playoff game 10 days later, 14 days later, whatever, depending on how the calendar falls from year to year. You've got the first round playoff game a week or 2 later, the next round the week after that, then the semifinals, then the finals. It's going to be hard. I mean, it's always hard to win a natty, but it's going to be harder. Are we going to get to a point where winning your conference is a bigger deal than winning the natty? No. No. We're not. Top ranked QB of the 24 class Bama is entering the transfer portal. Yeah, we talked about that for 20 minutes, about 20 minutes ago. Finkel is Einhorn. Yeah, good morning. And also Einhorn is Finkel, too. At least that's what I've been told. Not sure if true or not, but I have been told that on more than one occasion. On more than one occasion. What's up, VicTube? Whoever does win it all will bring home 3 to 4 major trophies at the end of the season. Especially in the Big Ten and SEC, every team needs to reset their expectations on what is a good season. Yes, I don't think anybody in the Big Ten or the SEC is going 12-0 next season. Nobody. I don't think, as good as I think Georgia's going to be, I don't think they can beat Bama, Ole Miss, and Texas, all 3 on the road. I don't think they can do that. And if they do, that's great. They still got to beat Tennessee at home, Florida and Jacksonville, Auburn at home. I mean, I know Georgia's better than most of those teams, but it's the cumulative effect of having to play them all. Like I don't know if there's any team in the country that could beat Bama, Texas, and Ole Miss, all 3 on the road in the same season. I don't know that anybody could do that. I think the loser of Georgia and Texas in October wins the SEC. They could play twice. I think between Georgia, Texas, and Ole Miss, I think 2 of those 3 teams are going to play in the SEC title game. Now, I'd love to win the SEC. I think it's hard to do, and it is a good accomplishment. But if you're a top 20 program, not team, if you're a top 20 program, your goal should be to make the playoffs. Now, obviously, winning your conference is a direct way to do that. But what I mean is the old school way of thinking of, oh, well, we went 10-2. We're not any good because we're not making the playoffs. 10-2 is getting you into playoffs more years than not now in the SEC and the Big Ten. UJ's a 3-point favorite against Ole Miss right now. Yeah, 3-point favorite at Ole Miss, 3-point favorite at Bama, 12-point favorite against Clemson. I'm not sure what the Georgia-Texas line is. I'm not sure if the line's even out on that. Not sure on that one. Might be an underdog at Texas. Not sure. Or the game might be a pick'em. I would be surprised. I would think Texas would be favored at home against Georgia. They get a lot back. But, yeah, Georgia's a 3-point favorite at Bama, 3-point favorite at Ole Miss, 12.5-point favorite, I think, against Clemson. Do you think we will lose 3 SEC games or Big Ten teams in the playoff? Do you think we will see 3 loss SEC or Big Ten teams in the playoff at some? It just depends what happens everywhere else around the country. I mean, you have to have 12 playoff teams. If there's not enough 2-loss teams, you could see some 3-loss. I don't think a 3-loss SEC team is getting in over a 2-loss Big Ten team. So you just have to have a lot of 3-loss teams. Should the addition of Cam Ward raise my 9-win expectation? No. No. I'm kind of surprised you had a 9-win expectation to start with. I would think the addition of Cam Ward maybe got you to a 9-win expectation. Arch Manning is going to transfer. No, he's not. He can't. It's too late for him to enter the portal. And plus, him and his parents have come out and said they're not transferring. But even if he was lying, it's too late for him to enter the portal. He can't enter the portal now. He could enter the portal in May, but that's not happening. I don't think. I think he's staying at Texas. Carson Beck is legit, like y'all said. Georgia should go 16-0. Yeah, okay. Have fun in Vegas. Remember, it all comes back except the money you lose. Man, I ain't losing no money, man. I'm making money. Come on. Positive thoughts on the Vegas trip. What kind of season should Bama fans expect? Well, we got to see how many more players leave. I don't know. They're still going to be one of the 5 most talented teams in the country, if not the most talented. A lot of the effects of what's going on with Bama won't be felt for a year or 2 down the road. Your recruiting class has fallen up. Julian Sayin wasn't going to play this year. So you lose him. Okay. Does that affect this year? No. Does it affect next year? Probably. And the year after? Probably. He was the number 1 ranked quarterback in the country. Can you tell me for certain that Kalen DeBoer is going to go out and sign the next number 1 quarterback in the country? No, you can't tell me that for certain. So a lot of this stuff you're not going to see the effects of for a year or 2 down the road. Some of it you'll see right away, but it's going to be a snowballing effect for a couple of years, I think. Jay says 7-5. I'd be shocked if Bama went 7-5 this year. I don't see that. I mean, I'm trying real hard not to do any predictions for any teams right now because it's not like years past where it was easy to know everybody's schedule. Until I sit down and start doing the schedule previews and all that, I mean, before I could tell you who Bama was playing, I can't rattle off everybody that Bama plays right now. I don't, because the schedules are so different. And then even some of the teams I know they play, I can't remember whether they play them at home or on the road. Is there like a 3-week stretch where all three, is there a period where they have 3 tough games in a row? And maybe in a one-off scenario, you'd pick Bama to beat all 3, but because all 3 games in a row, maybe you think they lose one. Like, so I'm trying real hard not to give predictions for anybody because the scheduling models are so different. But I mean, if they go 7-5, they're liable to burn that place to the ground. They'd be liable to burn that place to the ground. Now, I won't be surprised if Bama misses the playoffs by a game or so. That won't surprise me. I also won't be surprised if they go 10-2 and make the playoffs as a, 7 or 8 seed, something, whatever it happens to be. But again, we got to see what, it's every day someone is leaving there. I mean, so whatever we think about Bama now, we might think something totally different about them a month from now. Or you got to remember, players can leave again after spring practice. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Hard to say. Toughest stretch is at Tennessee versus Missouri, bye week at LSU. Is it possible SMU is the best ACC team next year? Anything's possible, but I don't think so. Didn't they get embarrassed against an ACC team in the bowl game? In their bowl game? Who'd they play in the bowl game? Was it Boston College or Virginia Tech, something like that, and lost? I mean, Cincinnati was the best Power 5 program the best group of 5 program on the planet for 2 or 3 years. They go into the Big 12 and barely did they even get bowl eligible? So no, I don't think SMU will be the best team in the ACC. They'll win some games. I like their coach. They've got some players. They'll win some games, but I don't think they'll be the best team in the ACC. Boston College, that was it, yeah. I knew it was one of those like mid-level ACC teams. Just couldn't remember which one. Oregon is plus 1,000 to win the Natty. I put $35 to win 385. It's not a bad bet. I think Oregon might be the best team in the Big Ten, and the best team in the Big Ten is going to have a good shot to win the Natty. They get Ohio State at home. That's a big. I think Oregon and Ohio. Again, I hate making any type of even generalized prediction right now because somebody comes back in October and holds me to it. I don't make official predictions until like June, July. But my thinking right now, knowing what little I know about the Big Ten, transfer portals are still open. It's possible Harbaugh's not coaching Michigan. There's just a lot that can change. But my thinking today, January 19th or whatever today is, about the Big Ten in general, is that I think Oregon and Ohio State are probably the two best teams. And Ohio State has to play at Oregon. So if I think those are the two best teams, and I say, okay, Oregon's toughest game is hosting Ohio State, a home game, I like Oregon's chances to win that. So even if they drop a game or two somewhere else, they probably still make the Big Ten title game with a chance to win it. So Oregon at plus 1,000, not a terrible bet, in my opinion. Not a terrible bet at all. My mind could change between now and June when I do predictions, but that's my overall. My thoughts right now about the SEC is that it looks like a 3-team race between Texas, Ole Miss, and Georgia. That could change tomorrow. That could change next week. That could change before I do predictions in June. My overall generalized thoughts about the Big Ten, I think Ohio State and Oregon are playing twice. Once in the regular season at Oregon and a second time in Indianapolis in the Big Ten championship game. That's my thoughts on January 19th about the SEC and the Big Ten. Those are not official predictions. Even though as soon as Oregon or Georgia or Ole Miss or Texas or Ohio State lose a game, somebody's going to come in my comment section and say, I remember in January 18th you said. Let's see what Miami does against Florida. Miami beats Florida, maybe they get to 9 wins. Miami loses to Florida, it's probably another 7-5 season because Florida's not any good at all. So that game's not going to get near the hype this offseason that it got 4 or 5 off seasons ago, whatever it was when they played last time. It's not going to get anywhere near the hype this offseason, that Florida-Miami game. Trolling 101. I'm not trolling. I don't think that game's going to get the hype it's been getting the last time, Florida and Miami. I mean, it was 2 pretty bad teams last year. In Florida's case, they were horrific and have nothing to look forward to this year. Lou, will Florida lose to UCF or USF? They don't play USF, do they? They could lose to Central Florida. Yeah, they could lose. They play Central Florida, Miami, and Florida State. I know that. They play all the Power 5 teams in the state of Florida. I didn't know they played South Florida. No, I don't think they'll lose to South Florida. but there's a very good chance they lose to all three of the others. Well, Florida's got to play in Knoxville this year, so I'm assuming Tennessee won't embarrass themselves like they did last year in Gainesville. Look, I'm sure y'all have looked at Florida's schedule, right? They're not winning a game from the middle of October to the end of the season, period. So they better stack up a lot of wins in September. Look at this shit. They open up with Miami, then they play Samford. Then they play Texas A&M. Then they play at Mississippi State. Let's say they beat Mississippi State and Samford. And I'm not saying Mississippi State's a guaranteed win. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt, though. Let's say they beat Samford and they beat Mississippi State. What are they going to do with Texas A&M and Miami? I mean, could they be 3-1 after these first four? Maybe. If they then find a way to beat Central Florida, they would be 4-1. But then look at this. This is a loss to Tennessee. This is a loss to Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky owns them. This is a loss. This is a loss. This is a loss. This is a loss. And that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're losing their last 7 games in a row. They're not winning at Tennessee. Kentucky is a better program than Florida right now and should and will be favored in this game. They're not beating Georgia. They're not beating Texas. They're not beating LSU. They're not beating Ole Miss. And they're not beating. They'll be double-digit underdogs in the majority of these games. They're losing their last 7 games. They better do something with this first 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They better find a way to win 4 of these. 5. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be really bad. Really bad. I mean, nobody's schedule is easy in the SEC, regardless of what you will read in my comment sections all season long. It's going to be that this team ain't played nobody routine like it is every year. Nobody's schedule is easy, but that shit for Florida, I mean, they better hope COVID strikes again in the middle of October. I mean, they're not winning any of their last 6 or 7. What was that first one? Tennessee. Yeah, who are they beating here? Let me seriously, without trolling, and I know that's hard to do, but without trolling, is there anybody right now that would bet on Florida to win any of these last 7 games? Is there anybody that's willing to bet that, and I'm not asking someone to bet with me. This is a hypothetical. I'm just saying, because I'm not trolling here. I don't see Florida winning any of these games. And I swear I'm not trolling. I mean, some of them are just, you don't, like Georgia, Texas. They're more likely to lose each of these games by 40 than they are to win one of them by 1. I mean, this is, look at this. Now, they have a bye week between Kentucky and Georgia, but look at this. 5 weeks in a row, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Florida State. Those are potentially all top 10 teams when the game is played. Georgia will be in the top 10. Texas will be in the top 10. LSU potentially. I'm not sold on them. I don't think they will be in the top 10. But potentially, if I'm wrong, they could. Ole Miss, I think, will. And maybe Florida State. I mean, there's just no way. There's just no way. And again, I'm not just saying that like it's, Lou hates Florida. I just got done telling you a few minutes ago, I don't think anybody's going I don't think Georgia's going undefeated. Where is this at? All right, they're favored by 12.5 over Clemson. They'll probably win that one. They should beat Tennessee Tech. At Kentucky, and probably win that one. But look, at Bama, home against Auburn, home against Mississippi State, at Texas. I mean, would it be the weirdest thing in the world you've ever seen if Georgia went 2-2 in these 4 games? I mean, it's possible. And then the end of the season, it's a little easier, But Ole Miss and Tennessee in back-to-back weeks, I mean, you're going to be surprised if Georgia loses one of these? I'm talking, would it shock you? Like your jaw would hit the floor. Like, wow, I can't believe Georgia lost. I can't believe Georgia went 1-1 at Ole Miss and home against Tennessee. No, that wouldn't shock me. Now, what would shock me is if they lost one of these, two of these, and lost to Clemson to open. Like, that would shock me. 8-4, something. That would shock me. But if Georgia goes 11-1 or 10-2, if Georgia loses one of these games and then one of these, that's not gonna shock me. They'd be 10-2. Guess what? They'd be in the playoffs and might be in the SEC championship game at 10-2. No, I'm not overestimating Tennessee. I think Georgia's better than every single team on that schedule. But that doesn't mean you can beat them all in the same season. He is leaving. He's in the portal. Oklahoma's schedule is brutal, too. I mean, that's the thing. All of them are. Let's pull Oklahoma up. I don't think I've really gone through it yet, but all of them are. All right, so they're starting 3-0, right? Temple, Houston, Tulane. They should be 3-0. I don't want to hear anything about Tulane. You're Oklahoma. You should win these 3 games. Tennessee and Auburn, you're telling me with a straight face that you're 100% confident Oklahoma can win these 2 back-to-back? I'm not. At Auburn? Come on. Look. Auburn damn near beat Georgia and Bama last year at home. They damn near beat them both. No one's going to be surprised if Oklahoma loses one or both of these games. Then they get a bye week and they play Texas. Texas will be favored. South Carolina, they should win. At Ole Miss will probably be favored. And they play Maine. What? Maine? All right, who's going to send me a Maine helmet? At Missouri, boy, that'll be a great game. Then another bye week. And then they close the season out, home against Alabama, on the road at LSU. I mean, come on. What are we talking about? Look, I'm telling y'all, no one's going 12-0. Nobody's going 12-0 in the SEC next year. Not happening. Who else is supposed to be good next year in the SEC? Texas. All right, let's look at Texas. All right, here's Texas. All right, they'll beat Colorado State. At Michigan, now we'll see what happens with Harbaugh. They're losing some pieces, but they get a lot back. I don't think they're the best team in the Big Ten next year, but I also don't think it's a guarantee Texas will go up there and beat them at Michigan. Again, We're not necessarily picking the winner or the loser. At least that's not what I'm doing here. I'm just saying, which of these games could they lose? They could lose on the road at Michigan. They'll beat UTSA. They'll beat Louisiana Monroe. They should beat Mississippi State at home. Then there's the Oklahoma game, always a good game. But then they host Georgia. They definitely could lose that one. At Vandy, I can't imagine them losing that. I think they'll beat Florida at home. At Arkansas, they'll probably win that one. Kentucky and Texas A&M. This is actually one of the least hard I've seen. Their toughest game is at home, Georgia. Their next toughest game is probably the Oklahoma game. I'm talking SEC. Obviously, at Michigan is a difficult game. I'm talking the SEC schedule here. Their most difficult game is at home. That's against Georgia. Their second most difficult game is a neutral site, in my opinion, Oklahoma. Their third toughest game is probably either at Arkansas or at Texas A&M, maybe home against Kentucky. Take these last three games here. Like, do I think Texas is better than Arkansas? Yeah. Are they better than Kentucky? Yeah. Are they better than Texas A&M? Yeah. Can they win all three of those in a row when two of them are on the road? I mean, they could lose one of these. They could definitely lose one of these. But I think that schedule is less hard than some of the other ones we've looked at. Missouri schedule. Murray State, Buffalo, and Boston College. That's 3-0. Vanderbilt, 4-0. At Texas, wow, if they win at Texas A&M, they could be 6-0. And honestly, if that's the case, they might be the only 6-0 team in the SEC at this point in the season. I would pick them with confidence right now to win these first four. And they're all at home, these first four. Then a bye week before Texas A&M. They could be 5-0, and if they are, they're going to be 6-0 because they're going to beat UMass. They get Auburn at home. I think they're better than Auburn. At Alabama, we'll see. Oklahoma, at Willie B, at Mississippi State, home against Arkansas. Yeah. Yeah, might have to start throwing Missouri into the conversation when I talk about Georgia, Texas, and Ole Miss. Might have to throw Mizzou in there. Miami's schedule will be easier than any schedule we've looked at because it's an ACC schedule. Let's see. Where is it? Here it is. At Florida. They should win, but I won't be shocked if they don't. Then they'll beat Florida A&M. They'll beat Ball State. I think they'll beat South Florida. I would take them to beat Cal right now. Georgia Tech lost. They can't beat Georgia Tech. Louisville, 50-50. They could lose that. Duke. I think Duke takes a big step back. They lost their coach and their quarterback. Florida State, I'm still up in the air on them. I think they're better than Miami, though. Virginia Tech trending in the right direction. This could be a tricky game. And then they should finish with 2 wins against Wake Forest and Syracuse. Vandy 6-6. Boy, you want to talk about it? That would be a major miracle. Major miracle if Vandy somehow went 6-6. Virginia Tech's probably a loss. Missouri lost. That's 2 losses. Alabama lost. That's 3. At Kentucky lost. That's 4. Texas lost. That's 5. At Auburn, 50-50. At LSU lost. Tennessee lost. Yeah, I don't see 6 wins there. I don't see 6 wins there. Bama 5-star QB Julian Sayin. Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier. Wheels falling off. Wheels falling off in T-Town. You know what Alabama should have done? I know Nick Saban retired. Nick Saban should have agreed to stay in Tuscaloosa. Like, maybe Alabama even could have given him an office or something there. And Nick Saban should have agreed to stay in Tuscaloosa through this transition period to try to keep the team together, you know? Oh, wait a minute. He did do that. It just didn't fucking work. Oh, yeah. That's right. Saban did stay in Tuscaloosa. Alabama did give him his own office. He is sticking around as an extra shadow to help smooth out the transition. He did do all that. It's just that it's not fucking working. That's right. Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Forgot about that. Yeah, Bama needs help. Big time. And there doesn't appear to be any on the way. Poor Bama. You almost feel bad for him, except you don't. You know? So, yeah, Saban screwed him over, didn't he? Hate to see that. Really hate to see that. Got to go. Have a great day. All right, buddy. Yeah, I got to go too. Did I get my packing done? No, I don't do my packing because it gives me anxiety. The lady packs for me. I can't pack. I get nervous and anxious, and I think I'm forgetting something. And if I'm going somewhere for 2 days, I take 5 days worth of clothes. If I'm going somewhere for, in this case, 6 days, I'll try to take 2 weeks worth of clothes. It's just a giant mess. So no, all I've done is laundry to make sure whatever I want to take is clean. But other than that, I can't pack. It just creates a lot of anxiety and tension for me. So, no, I haven't packed. The lady's doing it tonight and tomorrow. And plus, because I'm flying, I've got to make sure the suitcase is 50 pounds or less. It's just a whole... I don't even want to talk about it. I don't know why you brought that up. Now, see, I was fine, and now my heart is fluttering. I got to go. I'll talk to y'all later.